I'm not happy. And the reason being is because the online witchcraft community is toxic. Okay, so where do we even begin with this one? And you should know off the top of your head that the internet can be a toxic place. Any place where you can post comments can be toxic. Now, I'm not talking about anything that happened with my YouTube channel. I'm talking about when you want to connect with other I'm talking about Reddit. Okay? So, specifically Reddit and also TikTok. Although I haven't explored any of the witchcraft community on TikTok, I just know that when I've spoken to other witches in real life, witches that you meet at your local witchcraft store, that, some of the opinions we tend to share is, one, the anonymous witches you meet on Reddit or whatever, it's kind of like a pissing contest, right? Everybody is better than you at everything, right? Everybody knows more than you, right? Doesn't matter what you know, they know more than you. You really have to watch what you say, because everything you say will be taken the wrong way. Not in this video. In this video, I am just speaking from, I can't sleep right now because this is really pissing me off. Because the last video, we had the little girl, right? And I was kind of stuck with a dilemma. Let me ask Reddit. Oh boy, yeah. So, r/witchcraft, I've been banned from that again. First time I was banned was the first time I ever asked a question, which was about the witch's Sabbath, okay? Not the Wiccan Wheel of the Year Sabbaths, okay? Not Samhain and the solstice and Yule, not those, but traditional witchcraft Sabbath, where witches ride the hedge, take flying ointment, and they go somewhere, and it seems some NSFW stuff happens. And I was curious, what's going on there? Like, is there some asking questions? And all I got back were people who did not know what they were talking about, which if you ask a question on Reddit, you will find a million people who do not know what they are talking about. Because you don't know who these people are. Odds are they're a beginner and they think they know everything. And so you get a lot of people like answering that question like, well, which Sabbath are you referring to? Witches don't do that. And I'm like, no. I'm talking about traditional witchcraft, riding the hedge, the classic cliche of a bunch of naked girls dancing around a fire, that thing, where that idea, what is the germ of that idea? I want to know more about that. And you just get trolls or people who don't know what they're talking about. Occasionally, you will get, if someone knows what they're talking about, they send you a private chat. They'll send you a DM, okay? If they're commenting, rule of thumb, they don't know what they're talking about. If they send you a private chat, then you can converse, and then it seems they know what they're talking about. And in that case, when I was banned the first time, basically because I called a troll out, and I called him a troll, and calling a troll was disrespectful and breaking the rules. Okay, so, well, the word I used was troll-tard, which at that point, my frustration was up to here. And the person in the private chat, we talked about it. Like, yeah, people can be idiots, right? The other thing is, who are the moderators? Okay, so tonight I posted a question about this little girl, and I started with, look, I know the community can be toxic, but really I'm just looking for serious answers for this. How dare you call us toxic? You're banned! And I never got an answer. And I'm like, they perceived it as I was calling r slash witchcraft a toxic community, which I wasn't. I was just in general saying, like, we all know this can be a toxic place. It's Reddit, it's online. When you talk to witches in real life, that is the general consensus, but being in this remote location, I can't go to my witchcraft store and talk with, I won't name names, but, and it's just, why would you start with calling us toxic? You're insulting us. And it's like, well, okay, thank you for proving my point. So the mods, okay, this is about a little girl spirit who wants, and I want to help her, okay? So if you're not going to let me reach out to people, then the moderators, okay, you have to be knowledgeable, you have to be free of bias, and you have to be good contributors, okay? So you tell me, help me with this situation. Here's what I would like to do, okay? Now, normally, if you've seen these videos, if someone is nervous about crossing over, I ask if there's anybody on the other side that they trust, right? Because if we can get them to communicate, then they're more likely to cross over. Part of the issue is the girl's age. Part of the issue is she can't spell. Part of the issue is the language barrier. Like, if the name pops up and it says acne penescum, I might say acne pine scum because that's how it's spelled, right? Then there's the issue of, it's not, my concern is not how to do it. My concern is what is the right thing to do in this situation. Let me get some perspectives on that. The answer I got back from the moderators was, it's not my forte. So what is your forte? You know, is this a kitchen witch who likes baking cookies, who's in charge of a Reddit called witchcraft? Like, and again, if you scroll through the Wicca and the witchcraft and spiritual, all the subreddits, and you look at some posts. Okay, so someone finds an item, they don't know what it is, they post it on Reddit. You will have 20 different answers on what it is. The reason why they're all different answers is because nobody knows what they're talking about. Because real witches don't use Reddit. They don't make TikTok videos, okay? Why would you? Right? That's why I don't, but in this desperate situation, I made the mistake of going there, right? That being said, I did talk to a very friendly, again, it was a private message from, your name was Friendly White Witch, which, and no offense, Friendly White Witch, because you did sincerely want to help, but that brings up another issue of, you might meet someone online who just is, oh, I can help with this because I'm really good at that. And it's like, yeah, I can do that too, don't worry about it. Okay, but I also work with this deity and this deity and this deity. It's like, no, it's okay, I got this. That's not what I'm looking for. You know, we're all good at this. Okay, but just, I can do a divination right now. I can do a reading. I can do a crystal ball for you. And it's like, no, that's okay, thank you, but that's pretty fundamental skills we can all do, and that's not what I'm asking for right now. So you might, and I understand when you're, when you're good at this, and when you're a witch in the real world, it's a big secret, and you want to talk about it, and you can't. So I kind of get it when there's a chance to talk about it, you just want to, but some people might come on too strong. And then another thing, oh my God, not me, someone else about me posted, like, hey, check out this person's video, right? And one of the comments back was like, why does this person call themselves a priestess? That is so disrespectful. That is like, you gotta like, do this. It drives me crazy when people give themselves these titles. Yeah, another person chimes in, like, it really bugs me when people call themselves a shaman. Like, that is a serious thing. My uncle was a shaman, and it's just like, on the one hand, it's like I get the skepticism of people just, like I said, nobody knows what they're talking about. So yeah, sure, maybe they give themselves titles. On the other hand, it's like, do you decide if I'm a priestess or not? Or does Hecate decide that? Because you don't decide that. Is the entire online witchcraft community toxic? No. But I wouldn't go to Reddit. I have found nothing useful there. I have found nothing useful on Reddit. And from what I hear, there's nothing useful on TikTok. I haven't looked. YouTube, okay. It's okay. I mean, I'm on YouTube. But I mean, you find a lot of, and this is what I found frustrating, you find a lot of tips for beginners. Here's some tips for beginners. Here's what I knew. Here's what I wish I knew when I was starting out. It's a lot of beginner. And you kind of realize maybe these people aren't the witches you're looking for. It's hard to find the good ones. I'll give you an example. There was one I was watching, I think it was the Green Witch, and okay, but then the Green Witch had an issue where she had a haunted antique and she didn't know how to deal with it. And it's like, how do you not know how to deal with it? Okay, so I have a friend who does know how to deal with it. I'm like, okay, so why am I watching your videos? Who's this friend? The friend was the Witch of Wanderlust. So free shout out to the Witch of Wanderlust, because I will say that she does know what she's talking about. She just doesn't talk a lot. That's the other problem with the YouTube witches, is that everyone shares all the beginner stuff. Nobody shares the intermediate to advanced stuff. And you'll get the Witch of Wanderlust who knows what she's talking about, and she'll give you enough to let you know that she knows what she's talking about. But, and for their own reasons, they're not gonna share everything. Right? And you kind of follow them up the chain. Like, I already had Jason Miller's books. I already know who Jason Miller was. But then you go from Green Witch to Witch of Wanderlust. From Witch of Wanderlust, you go to Jason Miller, because the Witch of Wanderlust took Jason Miller's course on Hecate and is like, oh, this is really, really good. Okay. Jason Miller is on YouTube a lot, does a lot of interviews. Same thing, where he tells you enough so that you know that he knows what he's talking about, but if you want the rest, you gotta pay him money. Which is why I do what I do. I am not after your money. Look at the quality of my videos. I am not a YouTuber. I am someone who's just, part of the reason, not the whole reason, but part of the reason why I do this is because I am frustrated that all the other witches keep their secrets. So I have no secrets. I show you exactly what I'm doing, and I'll answer your questions if there are any. For example, the commenter, mostly plant-based, I think was your name, something plant-based. You asked about moon salt, I answered you about moon salt. And I find that some of the best reactions I've gotten were for the book review videos. And some people, especially my conversation about ceremonial magic, and someone commented, man, I wish someone told me this when I was starting out. But nobody does. So I do. Which brings me to books. Books are the second best resource for learning witchcraft and getting advice on witchcraft, because that's where you learn the instructions Here's some rituals. Do the rituals, get results. Okay? That's the best place to learn witchcraft. Tricky part is finding the right books, because again, it's that beginner trap. A lot of stuff on beginner stuff. Where's the intermediate? Where's the advanced? And the advanced is the deities. That is, go to the source. For my little girl situation, it's part of the dilemma I have is Hecate wants me to open doors. Okay, so this little girl wants to go home, but she can't get in her home. So am I opening a door for her to get into her house, or am I opening a door for her to cross over? Why does her mom have some sort of protection on her house? Is it because the little girl was hanging around and freaked the mom out because her house is haunted, even though she doesn't know it's the daughter, so she put some banishments and cleansed it with smudge or whatever, had someone come in and you know, put up whatever spell to keep ghosts out? And then do I have the right to come and knock that down? I don't know. My dilemma is not how do I do it, it's what should I do in this situation. So I'm just going to ask Hecate, like, here's the situation, what do you think? Right? And that's the number one source for your information. Don't go to Reddit. There's nothing useful there. I have never found anything useful there. I'm sincerely trying to think if I've asked questions that have gone unanswered. And the reason they went unanswered is because nobody knew the answers. It's just a place for, I suspect everyone's much younger than me. I suspect they're much more immature. And I suspect they're all beginners in one form or another. And I suspect that each of them feels that their way is the best way. And don't listen to them, listen to me. I'm the only one who knows. I will always tell you that I don't know everything, and I'm learning as I go, and I'm open to changing my ideas. For example, I made a video, a warning about angels and demons and demonology and all that stuff. My opinion, if you watch a more recent video where I explain the afterlife, my opinions about demons have changed because I don't necessarily believe in them. My understanding since that video, my understanding has grown because Hecate has explained it, that it's not that there's angels and demons, it's just that there's deities, right? Christianity came along and said, okay, we like Jupiter, so Jupiter is now the archangel, off the top of my head I forget, but I think it was Raphael. Okay, so they take Jupiter, and he's an angel now. You have the pagans worshipping Coronos. We don't like the pagans, we want to convert them, so that's a demon. It has horns, okay, that's a demon. And they just sort of arbitrarily assigned, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that I have changed my mind about the dangers of demonolatry. It just means my understanding of what a demon is has grown. Because I don't have all the answers, and I am continuing to learn. And since I don't have all the answers, I will keep looking for answers, and I encourage you to look in the right places and not the wrong places, okay? Look in the right places, okay? Look in the right places, and the right places, and don't look in the wrong places like Hecate. Or not the wrong places like Reddit. Okay, go to the source. Okay, you want to know more about witchcraft, talk to the goddess of witches and witchcraft, or real witches in real life that you know and trust. Like if you go to, I lived in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. There is a wonderful store there. Free shout out to the Mystic Garden, okay? The staff there are witches, different ages, right? And they can help you. And if they don't have an answer for you, they can put a book in your hands that will, okay? Reddit doesn't do that. It's just a pissing contest of immature people who don't know what they're talking about. Okay? I had to vent. I had to get that off my chest because I was not going to sleep otherwise. All right? If you have questions, the 4 or 5 of you that still watch these, if you have questions, ask me and I'll see what I can do. Thank you. Good night.